I want you to think about this, that God has chosen you. He has chosen me before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. Man, that is a profound statement that Paul makes. In verse 5, he says, he has predestined us to adoption as sons by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. Now, this is an amazing thing, that God chose us, he predestined us, he planned beforehand for us, that not only are we to be before him holy and blameless, but that we would be adopted into his family. Man, that is such a powerful statement, that we would be adopted as sons by Jesus Christ, that Jesus would be the agent of the adoption, of bringing you and I into his family. And this is what's powerful about it. I don't know about you, but this is what is powerful about it for me. And that is that God did this because of his good pleasure and the will of his good pleasure. That he wanted this. This is God's will. This is not, God was not somehow forced into this. He wasn't somehow cahootsed into this. But that this was the good pleasure of his will. Man, I tell you, God's good pleasure for you is to live a God-fashioned life, to live the best life possible that he can gift you with. And then in verse 6 it says, to the praise of the glory of his grace, by which he made us accepted in the beloved. Man, that is another powerful statement. He made us. Now I want you to see, the emphasis of Paul in these verses. He's telling us who is at work and whose desire, passion, whose pleasure this was, whose will this is. That it is God's will, God's passion, God's pleasure to not only bring you into a place, as it says here, to be chosen in Christ before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. And he predestined to adopt us as sons into his family. And he says, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he has made us acceptable in him, in Christ. You are made acceptable. You see, you don't make yourself acceptable. You don't do anything in order to make yourself acceptable. You have been made acceptable to God. Man, that's powerful. Colossians says, you have been presented to God holy, blameless before him in love.